at some point in everyone's life, odds are they'll experience some kind of mental health concern or be diagnosed with a anxiety disorder. For women, specifically in their 20s, the quarter life crisis is quite real. Here to talk about this, we bring in life coach and a woman who has a master's degree in counseling. Teresa Lusk joining me. Teresa, good morning.
Good morning, Ron.
Why are so many women in their 20s hitting their breaking point, Teresa?
There's several reasons for it, Ron, but the first thing is that there are a lot of changes going on in their life, the school, the work, relationships, money, loneliness. The thing is that those are issues that we've all been dealing with. However, in this generation, they have been taught that everything is research-based. So they go out, they research, and they kind of formulate an idea in their head of what should life look like. And it's almost a visual of something perfect, something that can't be shaken. And so when life hits the research of what they've made up their mind to be, sometimes that gets a little difficult for them. In addition, we are dealing with social media. There are other studies that have shown that women, even young girls, teenage girls, seem to be so much more affected by, compared to the males, by social media. And it's because if you see what's going on in social media, Ron, you see that it's constantly promoting how you should look, how perfect your life should be, how many likes are you getting. And so it just increases the internal struggle for females.
Teresa, is it safe to say that women take social media a whole lot more serious than the men?
I think it affects women a lot more, absolutely. Emotionally, on an emotional, mental level, absolutely. I think the males, they're just so much better at kind of putting some things aside, but women were a little more emotional, so we absolutely internalize that a little bit more, and it does affect. It affects your mood. It affects your thoughts. It affects just your countenance, everything in general.
Life coach Teresa Lusk joining me on the Friday edition of Ron Potesta in the Morning. Some scary numbers. 1 of 5 adults in the United States are affected by anxiety disorders. However, women are nearly twice as likely to experience this. So why is anxiety so much worse for women than for men, Teresa?
Once again, I just believe that the women are constantly bombarded by messages through social media, through one another even. We're all, a lot of us are very caught up with image and what have we accomplished at a certain point in life. There's just a level of expectation that's built on the inside of us as we see our world around us that is promoted to us by social media, by other self-imposed expectations, Ron, self-imposed expectations based on some research that we've done. What do I believe my life should look like at this point in life? And again, these aren't things that we haven't had to deal with in prior generations, but today the pressure is on. We didn't used to have the exposure to social media as we do today. I can tell you, I believe personally, social media is probably 50 or 60% of the problem. I really believe that. And, I can't say, well, it's all their fault because we choose to get on social media, et cetera. But it's just something that as a society we're depending on. It's what we do. And so it's affecting our younger women.
I would suspect that if you take some time away from social media, if you're a woman, or at least cut back on the amount of time you spend on social media and use that time to promote yourself, I would suspect you'd be in a whole lot better state of mental health.
You are absolutely correct, Ron. Actually, there's a study that says that if you females who spend 4 hours or more on social media are more likely to experience the depression, the anxiety, et cetera. And so if you begin to cut down on that, and I even talk to the parents in my office about this as I'm coaching them and say, you're dealing with teenagers. You have to remove the time that they get to spend on social media because there are studies that point to anxiety and depression because of so much use. And even though you get the resistance or what have you, it's still our job to pull it down. Well, we can't do that with the older kids because they're older, they're young adults. but being aware that if you do cut down on the time of social media, you begin to purge out all that stuff that you're taking in, that you're using to formulate your own ideas about yourself and what have you. So when you take a break of those voices coming at you willingly and unwillingly, you'll be better off.
And I got to believe that trying to convince a woman in their 20s, hey, okay, studies show that you're supposed to be doing this, 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 and this, but that's just basically a paper argument. What you do in your life it shouldn't have any effect of what is expected of your life.
Sure. It's going to be a personal choice. You can hear the information and decide what to do with it. That's why people come in and they'll ask me questions and I'll say, listen, you're going to choose what you're going to choose, but here's what I can tell you. It's been proven, and on top of that, I can tell you that by experience and by the clients that I have here, when I give them these steps to follow, it actually does work. Purge from the social media. Take it from 3 hours a day to 1 hour. Break it up in sections or what have you. Or how about this? Just don't watch the stuff that constantly promotes this idea of body perfection or something of that nature.
I appreciate the time, Teresa. Thank you so very much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much.